Hello everyone and welcome back to All the Mods 7 to the Sky. So we worked on some tech automation last episode, getting some passive processes set up. We also set up the processing for ores, taking the outputs from our sieves and processing them all the way down to dusts. But we have a problem. This thing is mighty slow. Look at this thing. We're getting like one ore every year, and our bottleneck is RF. We are really pushing the limits here of our basic reactor. I think we built this in episode 2. We need a better power solution. As with almost everything in this pack, we have a few options on ways we want to go. We could potentially do solar, invest in this, but this is kind of boring. Long term, I think we go with the mycelial reactor, but this will require quite a lot of infrastructure, which I don't think we can get just surviving on our basic reactor over there, so we need some sort of intermediate setup before we can get the mycelial, and I think that is going to come in the form of Powah. The Powah Reactors come in various different tiers, starting at basic all the way up to, I believe it's nitro. And these reactors are fueled with uraninite, something that we've been getting from our sieves. So yeah, I think this could be pretty fun checking out this mod. Before we do anything though, our crafting and molecular assembler slots are now full. So I say we start with some expansion here. We have to be careful of channels, of course. And in fact, you know what? We should maybe take this opportunity to separate the P2P channels. Right now we have one service in this whole building, and already we're at 20 of 32 channels. Oh no, I cleared the P2P. Oh no. I cleared the frequency without taking a note of it, so I don't know which one that relates to on here. D690, I think it might have been this one. Alright, so we got the cable split up here, and we're going to give a P2P channel to each side of the room. Is that the Wandering Trader again? I swear the frequency on this guy spawning is way too high. He shows up like multiple times per episode, and I cut out a lot of the times he shows up as well. Maybe I'm just logged in here too much. Maybe I'm playing too many hours. Alright, we got everything wired up, and we've more or less doubled our capacity here for patterns. One other super quick PSA over here at Botania. This turn-off switch that we implemented last episode has to be changed just slightly. If you take this inventory full value, it doesn't actually work properly when connected to functional storage. It's always going to return a value of not full, meaning that it was never sending a redstone signal. But we can easily fix that if we just make it greater than or equal to 1024, which is the total value of all the items that can be stored in this network. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, moving on with our reactors here. We obviously want to get that highest tier of reactor we can make. I'm curious what exactly that's going to be. So after digging a little deeper in the recipes through Powah, it seems that we'll be using this dielectric paste quite often. And there's actually two recipes we can use here, one with blaze powder or one with lava buckets. And we can save a little bit on resources if we use the one with lava buckets. And charcoal, I believe we can use in this instead. We are producing charcoal automatically. However, we do need a way to make lava buckets. I'm thinking that we go with the create method. Oh my goodness guys, I just discovered something revolutionary. So I just cut out this massive section of me setting up this. I mean, it wasn't that massive, it took like 15 minutes. We got two pattern providers here which make lava buckets. This just pulls lava from these two tanks right here, which we make from our crucibles. And I was wondering why we were still missing lava here, even though we have a way to make lava buckets. Check this out, I actually can't believe my eyes here. I guess this is the new fluid crafting from AE. If we partition a lava cell, I have a temporary fluid pipe just inserting into an interface, which goes into the partitioned cell over there. That effectively gives us the fluid directly in our AE system without having to craft lava buckets. Although this does still work. Maybe. It doesn't even work. Well, forget that, we have actually a solution. If we enable fluid substitutions here for the lava bucket in the paste recipe, it's going to actually use this lava fluid and not require the bucket. Look at this. Oh my goodness. That is super amazing. I love that feature from AE. Let me clean up the insertion method here. I want to be able to pull directly from these crucibles. I think if we just hook it up to the XNet controller that's back here. Oh, I am super excited about this. So now that we've got our electric paste, or what was it called, dielectric paste, we have to see about actually making this reactor, and all of them require the previous tier. The basic tier is used in the hardened tier, is used in the blazing tier. It makes me want a tier. So yeah, I've got a bunch of grinding to do here. We are going to need to use something called an energizing rod on an energizing orb, and that can give us the various different crystals we need to craft the reactor. Alright, so for the lava imports, we just have an ender tank on top of an interface to import lava into our system. And to fix the buckets, I realised I just had to blacklist empty buckets. That way it stops the extraction too early before the buckets get filled. And I wanted to get a bit more familiar with the Powah mod. This is the first time I've messed with it, so I wanted to give us a bit of space first of all. Make our reactor room. I think we might end up making several of these reactors. I then started making the various components in the Powah mod. Similar to the reactor tier, they all follow the same progression, and we have to start from the beginning in order to make the catalyst type for the next tier. The first one being energized steel made from iron and gold. I wanted to see if we could immediately automate this process, so I hooked up the Energizing Orb to a pattern provider, and connected the orb to the rod hooked up with an energy cable from the Powah mod. However, I was curious on one thing. But does it automatically output? That is the question. We're at 70%. Okay, we got the energized steel. It doesn't go anywhere though. It probably means we have to pipe it out. Okay, we can work with this. With that in mind, I began working our way through the tiers and set up a whole array of these energizing orbs. After energizing steel, it's the blazing tier from blaze rods, then niotic from diamond, and finally spirited from emerald, which is the highest we can go at the moment. The final tier does require nether stars. Nice, so it's been like 2 hours later maybe? I think I got all the recipes here encoded for the reactor. We need 36 of these blocks per reactor. It's a 3x3x4 multi-block. 139 diamonds per reactor. It's quite a lot honestly for us at the moment, but in the grand scheme of things, for the amount of RF we're going to get out of this, it's really no big deal. We do need a recipe for clay balls. We're already making clay blocks. Alright, we should be able to craft this now, right? Yes, perfect. Alright, I guess we can also take a look at the automation here for the orbs. I think this turned out pretty awesome. Look at this thing. There is 2 more spare, and one I definitely have a use for. The last one on the end here, I'm not entirely sure what we're going to use it for, but symmetry, right? It's a pretty basic setup. To handle the output of this thing, I just have an import bus that's filtered for the output item. And of course, the pattern provider is on blocking mode, which means that it only pushes one item at once to the energizing orb. So while the reactor is crafting, we do need to be able to fuel this thing, and there is, I think, 4 things that we need for it. We need to give it water, which we can do with the sink. This thing is amazing. We need to give it coal. I think blocks of coal are more efficient. So there is actually one thing I want to test. Does a compacting drawer work? Yes, it looks like it does work. Nice. Okay, so we can use compacting drawers for this. We need to give it uraninite. Unfortunately though, this is raw uraninite, which we get from the sieves. We actually have to smelt this. I'm also just realizing this is going to take, what, 144 spirited crystals? And each of these take 1,000,000 RF each. I don't even know if we can get this crafted today. Like, this might take hours to do this. We may have to set our ambitions a little bit lower. I don't even think this thing is crafting anymore. Yeah, just for AE, we're using 1000 RF per tick. Gonna make sure we set this to priority 1. We definitely do not want to lose power in AE, that's for sure. It's about time that we set up some room for furnaces. We're gonna use 3 netherite furnaces for this. Of course, a pattern provider on each one. And I think we can set input and output on the same side, right? Yes, it looks like we can. Auto output on. It should work like that, right? Yeah, I don't think we've got an AE connection over here. We'll have to wire one up. How did we do it over this side? I want things to be symmetrical. And link the P2P tunnels. These are actually filling up very, very fast. Although we still have a lot of channels, we're not being very efficient with our channel usage. I tend to make new P2Ps rather than just taking from the ones we already have, just to keep the cables a bit straighter. I think it's better that way. It's a worthwhile sacrifice to make. Device online, perfect. And now let's throw in a recipe for uraninite. Although we will have to set this up passively, I guess. They are listed as netherite furnaces. Let's see if it automatically inputs and outputs. Oh, that's right. We need the power augment on this thing. The factory augment, I think it is, uses power instead of fuel. I think it's this we need. And we give it energy on the back. Oh, and it even has the thing like mechanism. You can smelt multiple at a time. That's really awesome. Oh my goodness, that was blazing fast. Oh, we should have done this a while ago. I saw you guys comment on these things, but that is so awesome. So on the opposite side, I've also set up this furnace specifically for uraninite. We'll use the other ones for on-demand recipes, but I don't know what the deal is here, but for some reason it doesn't insert into a compacting drawer. This one I put in manually, but if we switch this out with a regular drawer, it smelts just fine. And I think it even consumes the item as well. I have no idea what's up with that. I guess we have to compact it another way. I'm almost glad that happened, even though I think it's a bug, because we can actually double it if we use the Energizing Orb. So we got an extra Energizing Orb here with a compacting drawer underneath. We're going to use an export bus this time. We also got a storage bus on there on the drawer. Uh-oh. Oh, we need a blocking mode on this, don't we? Oh, I think that may be the case. Do we have to have the exact recipe? Or maybe this one for the spirited crystal is just taking all the RF? No, it seems that we need to have exactly 1 in this Energizing Orb. I've got the best idea, hold on. We're going to switch to using laser IO for this. We should just be able to use the 1 laser and then specify exactly how many we want to transfer. And I suppose we'll also have to supply the items, which we can do from an interface. We can use that below. That means we can just use only 1 laser node. This is going to be cool. I think this is going to work. It should still look okay from the front when it's all covered up. Yeah. Oh, it works. Nice. Awesome. We can even throw some facades on the side of this thing. The last input ingredient that we need for this reactor is ice. Alright, it is time for the reactor. Let's do this. I think it's already crafted. I expanded the platform down here next to the orbs. We have space in the middle here for 4 reactors. Okay, it builds itself. Interesting, I like it. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, what are we working with here? It looks like we can specify I/O with this, which is perfect. We got redstone controls. Alright, we need to see about supplying our fuels and items to this thing. So on the ice front, we got ice automated over here. I found these small water freezers from Lashmac. He used these recently in All the Mods 7. These are really, really awesome. They just take water, power, and you have to filter the extract. I think you can get regular ice this way. Although if you leave it in there long enough, it turns into blue ice. Blue ice, we can then throw in another energizing orb on the back here, set up in the same way as uraninite, and this can give us dry ice, which I believe is the most efficient coolant for the reactors. It's pretty slow, we only have 86, and it's been like 30 minutes maybe. I guess we'll see if we have to buff production. Okay, first of all, we have to connect to Applied Energistics. This line that you can see here is from our subnet, so we cannot connect to this one here. There is a line that we used for the Energizing Orbs over here. Yeah, we're using 15 channels. The P2P, I believe, is right here. It does mean that somehow we have to get around this cable. Yeah, this is definitely doable. Hold on. Yeah, if we give the cable some facades, it's like nothing ever happened. One thing I noticed on the I/O here is that it's only extract or off. I don't know if we can insert on the sides. Let's find out. So we want to give it blocks of uranite. In fact, that's probably a bad idea. Just giving it the fuel and not, not the coolant. Let's start with the water, I think. I think what we'll do is use laser I/O. We can have a node in the middle and a sink connected to it. Inside we want a fluid card on extract. Put the other laser node on the back and hook these guys up. Fluid card on insert this time. And it instantly fills with water. Okay, nice. Now for the items, can we insert here? I have a feeling it has to be the top. Yep, it is the top that you need to insert. We can use another laser node and the other one on the interface. So we got the dry ice, the uraninite I believe goes in the middle. We also need to give this redstone, I forgot about this earlier on. Again, we'll use blocks. We need some way to craft blocks. And I'm curious if there's any difference between charcoal or coal. Again, we need some way to compact the blocks. I haven't figured that out yet. A crafter somewhere should be able to do the trick though. Yeah, so the redstone, it looks like it affects fuel consumption. I assume the more redstone we give it, the more RF we generate. The coal blocks increase the efficiency, so we're at 180 degrees, and it just lists it as carbon. I don't know if the charcoal makes any difference. Oh, maybe we can't use blocks of uraninite. Maybe it has to be the crystals. Yeah, that is the case. Okay, we can just set the filter differently on this. Oh, and it already started. We're generating 95,000 auto mode. I think we want this. Stops when it's full and starts when it's less than 70%. Also, it's like a built-in comparator. That's awesome. So why are we only generating 93? I thought this thing can go up to 100,000. What are we missing here? Okay, I've been messing with this for a little bit. I think 93,000 is just about all we can squeeze from this. And using redstone dust and charcoal doesn't seem to make any difference here. So I think we're going to be just fine using the dust. There is one thing I want to fix though with our charcoal production. So in this emerald furnace, we're using logs as a fuel. That's actually wasting quite a lot. I've noticed we only buffer like 1,000 logs. Instead, I think we'll connect to this wireless heat transmitter, since I don't know if we can get a power cable on this thing, so we can just use it wirelessly. And that should prevent it using the logs as fuel. I have also went ahead and put a flux plug on this as an input to our flux network, which, yeah, should give us way more power to work with here. Awesome, and from what I read, these things do not explode, so we don't have to worry about anything like that. It's just really the efficiency of the input materials. I would try to get another one, but I don't think we can really afford it just because of the diamonds, so we're going to have to redo our sieve setups. But first of all, let's take a look at why we actually built this thing and upgrade ore processing. I would like to do a quick experiment here though. We need to get around the issue of these ores blocking the slots in the injection factory. The recipe for them all is 3 at a time. And if there's even amounts in the drawer controller, then it blocks the slot for the next ore. And you guys mentioned there is an exact mode in Laser IO. I want to try to see if that works. Okay, it did put the first 3 in there. Is it going to give us any more after this? We have 4 left in the chest. And we have a counting filter here, which is like a limited item filter from Ender.io. On the extraction side, we've got it set on exact mode. And a transfer amount of 3. Unless maybe it counts the shards. Maybe if we take these out. Alright, I've been staring at this for like 10 minutes. These items are not going anywhere. I've tried a bunch of different settings on both of the nodes here. I think our solution is just to throw more machines at the problem, and we'll do 1 machine per ore type. Why overcomplicate this, right? We have the power to run the machines now. So the first thing that we're going to do to upgrade is make a bunch of tier installers. This upgrades them to factories and means they can process more items at once. I think there's a few tiers of the tier installers, right? It goes all the way up to ultimate tier. All of these materials we should now have on passive. The diamonds we might be a bit strapped on, so I don't know how high we can go right now. We'll see. We should already have the recipe for speed and energy upgrades, which are separate to the tier installers. And when we placed them, we made sure to max them out with energy and gas, at least the ones that will take the gas upgrades. We're currently outputting maximum, I think, 5,000 RF per tick. That's the total consumption of RF around our whole base. Now you become a factory, and you become a factory, and you become a factory, and you become a factory. I've already maxed them all out on speed. Oh yeah, we definitely want to auto-sort them all. Okay, I think it's time to release all the ores. I got all these turned off right now. Yeah, the item mode is always off. Oh, and these things are very, very slow. The flux compactors, we need to give upgrades to these guys. Let's see, can we do the netherite upgrade? This is 8,000 RF per tick. 8,000 RF per tick, that's crazy. I think we can afford it though, right? It will do 64 items at once. Wow. Let's do it. We need the diamond, which needs the gold, which is a bunch of stuff. Wait, green dye, are we... Oh no, we're making green dye, what am I talking about? And cyan terracotta, we can just dye it automatically. We spent like a whole episode on just making dye. Alright, time to harvest the fruits of our labour. Let's see how fast this thing can go. Now that is what you call processing speed. Oh yeah, disappeared. Look at that. That is awesome. That's going to eat our power consumption quite a lot, especially mixed with these things, which is 8,000. I mean, only 25,000 peak. We can handle more than that, right? Oh, but we have to remember about these machines on the corner. These make all of our gas, like the hydrogen chloride. And we can even increase the resistive heater up here. Let's bring it up to like 1,000 RF per tick. We need to be making more brine. The fluid. You know, I wonder what the reason for us being out of oxygen is. You guys see it? It looks like I've picked up some habits from Nomi Factory, not plugging things in. Wow, awesome job right there. Now we should have oxygen again. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so some time has passed. I've implemented 1 machine per ore type and got all the filters set in XNet. I think this is just about as high as we can take it at the moment. Not too bad though, not too bad at all. At some point soon, probably in the next few hours, we're going to run out of things to actually process here, because our sieve setups are painfully slow. That is the next thing that we need to do. I think since we've seen it all before, I'm just going to build it and just show you afterwards. It's going to be quite boring if I build it on camera, I feel. That's something I might do between episodes, though this episode I would like to focus on hostile neural networks. This is a pretty power-hungry mod, at least depending on which simulations you run. But now that we have some upgrades, it means that we can add some more simulators in here. The sheep simulators I've taken out at the moment, since we're up to like 100,000 wool. Yeah, there's absolutely no need for this. And remember, we do need prediction matrix for all this stuff, which does take gold, lapis, and iron. This is what was actually eating all of our iron. However, there is another solution for iron in this pack, and we can do it through zombie predictions. Very similar to how we got the wool from the sheep. Look who has joined us here. We might as well grab a data model from these guys. What did they give us actually? The membranes? I don't know if this is actually useful or not. Munda bitter dust? What in the world? Arcane gold? Oh, I think I've seen this for the ATM star. Yeah. We need this later on. Somewhere. Might as well level the data fragments while we can. What we are after is zombies. Let's see if we can find any in the Twilight Forest. Maybe inside the Hollow Hills? Father End Grubbier the Manly. I think I just cringed a little. What in the world? Okay, we should be able to teleport back, right? We gotta pick up our stuff really, really fast. Wow, don't touch that guy. Man, he hit hard. Yeah, that definitely did humble me a little. Let's find what we're after here and get out. Game crash? Yep, the game crashed. We're okay though. I did make a backup just in case. Really wish we could get rid of this rain. I think we may have to look into this Teru Teru Bozu. If that's even how you remotely pronounce it, I have no idea. Oh, there's Dimensional Shard here. It probably wouldn't have been a bad idea to come here in the early game. Yeah, there seems to be quite a lot of ore in here. You guys probably can't see anything though. Hey, we can grab the skeleton. Yoink. How much damage can we do to this guy? Okay, one hit. There we go. I just done that so that we could unlock some more biomes here. And of course, let's pick up our trophy and the Naga scales. Aha, we can even get access to the library here. Although to be fair, I think we can make the Britannia things for enchanting. Steel leaf boots, I'll take those. More bookshelves. Ah, I can't hit these. I can't hit these tomes here. There's our zombie. Oh, he dropped a spawn egg. I didn't know that was possible. And a heart. You know what? Let's pick up a chicken model as well. The feathers can be useful if we get that on passive. Alright, we are back from a very quick trip in the Twilight Forest. Managed to get the zombie, chicken and skeleton all up to basic tier, which is all we need to start running them in simulation chambers. I may in fact go back for another zombie. However, the other thing we need for the prediction matrix, as I mentioned, is gold. We can get gold if we craft it with iron. However, we can also get gold from zombified piglins. Aha, it's a void world. That's right, I forgot about that. Well, absolutely no question we want to mark the portal. Oh, this is kind of scary. Flying into the unknown like this. I'm holding forward, I don't know where I am. I think there's a fortress up here, yeah. Okay, let's get our data model and get out of here. We need to get 6 of these guys. Let's just be a bit cautious here. Careful of the blaze. You know what, we're here already. We might as well get the blaze models and the wither skeleton models. Has that wither skeleton got a bow? He does. You're probably asking yourself, we just set up like a massive ore processing system way over the top, and now we're going for DML? Well, you know, it kind of felt, oh, that is a shovel and a half. It feels a little bit cheaty just to rush straight for DML, or hostile neural networks. I feel like this way we've kind of earned the right to do this. And probably once we redo the civs, we won't actually even need to run these models, right? It's mainly just going to be for the nether mobs, things like wither skeleton. We can get wither skeleton skulls this way, and of course turn those into nether stars. I mean, or just run the wither data model directly. But yeah, in the nether I managed to get the blaze, the zombified piglins, the wither skeletons, and the magma cubes. I think these extra simulation chambers need hooked up on the back though. These loot fabricators here, I mentioned when we set these up, we'll have to switch either to Laser.io or XNet, because we can't filter inserts with Universal Pipe. I believe you can only filter one destination. I think the last thing we have to do is just filter some more storage cells for the new items that we'll be getting. Yeah, all of those new data models are going to take some time to level up. And with that, we also wrap up today's episode. I'm going to start the rebuild process on these civ setups before next time. I feel like we're in a really good spot with this pack. We can basically do whatever we want now. We have power. Once we get a few more diamonds, we can get another reactor. And then it's time to start ticking some items off the list here for the ATM star. But yeah, with that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode.